We are live now.
Ah.
Good afternoon, Nkosi Talk Shows family. It's Nomsa here at Nkosi Talk Shows. Find your own voice, lead from within. With me today, I have Shireen Groove. Hi, Shireen.
Hi, Nomsa.
How you
Lovely to
doing?
be here.
So our topic today is riding out the storm, how to use adversity as a catalyst for reset. So what do you think about this topic, Shireen?
It's certainly an interesting one because I was busy thinking about it, and I thought, when we think about the idea of riding the storm, we often think of this as a catalyst for success. So we see it as something towards something, right? But your one is a catalyst for rest. And that was really interesting because what I kind of started to think about was a little deeper about that. Yes, success is always what we're trying to do as human beings, aren't we? We're always trying to better ourselves or do more in some ways, because there's this part of us that's creative and just wants to get out there and do stuff, and gets a little bit depressed when we're not doing what we feel or want to do. But when you kind of think about the idea that this is a catalyst for rest, it actually implies such a deeper meaning to it, doesn't it? It's kind of saying, really, before any big, creative, massive outpouring of knowledge, actually is often when we've gone into that place of rest. We've gone into that place where we've been in the silence of some form. And then we come up with these massively good ideas, these massively amazing creations. And it's for me, it's really interesting as a psychologist, is because understanding that, and I know that you will have your master's soon, all to do with this default network that we have. So when we're kind of playing, when we're busy washing up dishes, when we're doing very tedious kinds of tasks, and we're just letting our mind wander off, right? That gives our brain real rest. It gives it that sense of peace and calm that then allows other ideas. It allows other parts of the brain to kind of communicate. And almost like in the soup of things, an idea starts to emerge. But these times are only really active when we take times to rest, when we take times to be still and do the thing that we really need to do, which is replenish our brain to some level. We've got to give it that space, that chance to find those questions, answers, things that we want to discover. And also, we were talking about resilience, because I think what you've got in your title is resilience, the making, what could we have? Riding the storm, riding the storm. So we often, when we think about the riding of the storm, I also was then reminded a little bit about, how do we ride? Do we ride the storm like gallop, 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 gallop? That's what we're doing all of the time? Or can we just really be in time with the movement of the ride, so that we get that gentle lull that allows us to be able to take control, take the reins and hold the reins. Some people who know the tarot card, we talk about the chariot. The chariot is where we have this balance between our thoughts and our feelings, our heart and our mind. It's how we manage to hold both in this beautiful dance, this dynamic balance of knowing when to move forward, when to move back, when to thrust, when to go forward. These kinds of dynamic relationships that we go into. So that was what sort of made me laugh a lot. But I kind of went, oh God, ride the storm. How are people riding this storm? Are they storming ahead? Or are they just happily going, well, you know what? I surrender to the storm. I surrender to what's happening right now. And I trust that I can get through this. And what can I do in the meanwhile? Because I think that's a really important thing. What can I do in the meanwhile? That then allows people to kind of know there's hope. There's an end to whatever's happening now. May not know yet, but if you're doing something in the meanwhile, you're doing something very creative and proactive. Yeah. So yeah, what made you decide on the topic?
What made me decide on the topic, I think, is just life. I just looked at what was trending on YouTube, and that something similar to that it came up. So I was like, yeah, it sounds like this is what I'm going through at the moment. I'm riding the storm with the storm because he had to help me with the gorilla with my project research. And so it's another storm, and also with my business and my website not being up there. Because, when you have a website, normally people, they want to get information from you. They look at the website, but they want to talk to you. But now the website is not there. They want the website. I'm like, but it's normally the other way around. They want what they can have.
Yeah.
So I'm like, when they're like, when is the website coming up? Because when I'm checking, the information is not there. And I'm like, normally they're like, oh, I've been to your website. Would you like to actually explain how you can help me finding the one? And then you have to start from the beginning, even if they've been on the website.
Yeah.
So, but now it's becoming a storm. So that's why, like, when you are saying, how are they writing it? I think you put it really right when you said surrender and trusting the process that you're gonna get through whatever is going on. I think that's what the writing is about. Sometimes we can feel overwhelmed, feeling bent out. You just need to have this strategy, create your own strategy, and empower yourself to get back at the same time. Because if you don't have the right mindset, the storm will take over your life. Like right now, somebody's sending me a long text. I'm like, my mind is not in me finding a coach. I've already got a coach. I don't need a coach. My mind is me traveling tomorrow because I'm filming. So my mind is just there. So it's like it's another storm. So when you feel like you're overwhelmed, when things get tough, sometimes for me, I always look at things and say, you know what? There are some things that I can actually control, but there are some things that I can't control. So whatever the challenges that I face, I have to respond natural by not suppressing my feelings, or maybe I just try a different approach, or just pause and reflect. I just pause. Sometimes I just go and sit on the sofa and accepting the things that I can change. The things that I cannot change, and the things that I can change, and then just take it from there.
Yeah. And it's can't.
Yeah.
And I think what's really important is that movement as well, in the sense of when I said earlier on the meanwhile. So if I can change this, maybe I can't change it now, right? But I can change it. It just may not be right now. So what can I do in the meanwhile? Between now and then, as long as I have that outcome that's there, what can I do to find more resources? What is, a lot of the time when we get stuck, what we do is we kind of end up in this kind of what we call a closed mindset. So it's a closed mindset. It's only a metaphor. People love metaphors, but it's useful to kind of just think about, we create these names that we live by, right? And if we really had to just stop for a minute and say, well, when I think of a closed mindset, what am I looking at? What am I seeing? What's happening? Because that's how you're metaphorically encoding it in your body. So one of the things of the reflection can be very simple. Okay, what's the image I'm seeing? Right. Maybe when you think of closed mindset, what's the image you get, Nomsa?
The closed mindset, if I think of it like the way when you're speaking, is like My mind is dead. It's like that's the
So
image
it's a
that I
mind that's
get.
dead.
Yeah.
So are you seeing a mind that's literally, what are you actually seeing?
Seeing a mind that cannot think or focus, that is stuck.
Okay, so you actually
one
seeing a
place.
mind. Are you seeing
Yeah.
a shape of a mind?
Shape, yeah, shape of
What does the shape look like? What does it look like?
cycle.
Like a cycle,
Yeah.
right? Like a bike, or like a circle, or when you say a cycle, what do you mean by
A circle like
a
this.
circle? Okay.
Yeah.
And what does an open mind look like for you?
To me, open mind is like there's no shape. It's just open.
Okay, so it's just
possibilities.
open.
Yeah, just
okay. So
just
there's
that.
this closed circle, and then there's this open. All right.
Yeah.
So you've okay. So then tell me a little more about that closed circle.
That's closed circle. That has no way. Can't get in, can't get out, can't think. Is so frustrated. When it's so frustrated, it's just feeling stuck. It feels like there's this stuckness that you want to get out of something, but you can't get out of it. Like it's a loss. You feel lost.
Yeah, you feel something, so you're attached
something.
to it. Yeah. So when you see it, is it right in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay, can you put it to the side a little? Move it to the side. Just notice when you move it to the side, what happens?
Possibilities of being free.
Well,
yeah.
Is there a sense of change in it?
Sense of change. Yeah.
I'm just curious. So then have another play. If you had to. So the circle, what color is it?
Color. I give it a purple.
So it's a purple color. Is it purple the whole way around? The same color the whole way around?
Yeah. Okay. There's no light. There's cloud. There's no light in it. It's just cloud.
Okay, it's just cloud. There's no light.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, that's interesting. So it's no light. Isn't it interesting that you have this thing?
Yeah.
That you've created.
Yeah.
That's there.
Yes.
Okay. We know that nothing is permanent, right?
Yes.
We know
yes.
But we've created something, and in some way that's getting in the way of you having this open mind, right?
Yeah.
For example.
Yes.
So then it's just really what would need to have happened for a cloud that's purple to become an open mind? What would need to have happened?
Just need to put it on the side, not
so if you put it on the side,
put it on the side, not ignoring it, acknowledge it that is there, but just find a way through to an open mind. Just open the door, the cloud. Just walk through this cloud.
All right. Okay. So now you're telling me that there's a door there, right?
Yeah.
All right. What kind of door?
The door is like doors of opportunities, the possibilities, the doors of possibilities that.
What does it look like?
It just looks like a door that is there.
So there is a door.
Yeah. It feels
what has to happen just before the door opens to possibility?
My mind has to shift. Just
your mind has to shift.
Yeah, moving this on the side. Okay, know that is there. Then the mind has to shift, wanting to get through that door. Okay.
So that's curious. So it sounds
curiosity.
Like there's a mind that has a mind of its own. It sounds like there's another mind that has another mind.
Yeah.
It sounds like there's a you that needs to shift.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's something about an aspect that's that, and then there's this bit that is probably, I don't know, in the closed mindset. Is it frightened? What's it frightening?
No, it's not frustrating. It's not like a frightening. There's no fear, but there is this. It just feels stuck. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there's a theory that everything is stuckness, and everything is actually based in fear at some level, because it's a protective layer, right?
Yeah.
So this is just a protective layer that's there,
Yeah.
And if we were to explore that protective layer a little deeper, then that protective layer, when you have a closed mindset, how old does it make you feel?
Make you feel life has been forever, ever and ever. Yeah.
So it's like it's been there forever. So
yeah.
it's there from when you were very young.
Yeah.
All right. So the age of this part is very young.
Yeah.
Right. How to develop this open mind, yet it only knows what it knows right now.
Yes.
And when I say that, how does it feel when I say that to you? What do you want to do now?
That. I want to get rid of that.
Well, think about it in the sense that if this is a part of you that shut down, or a part of you that got hurt, or a part of you that felt a piece of impossibility when you were very young, if that was your daughter, how would you wouldn't say, I want to get rid of you, would you now? What would you do?
I'd give her a hug.
Yeah.
Wanted to feel better.
Yeah. So how might you help this part feel better so that it doesn't have to be a closed circle anymore, hiding away, and can maybe open up and become an open mind?
Just let it this cycle know that it is okay to feel the way it feels. But at the same time, it has to. I have somewhere where I need to be.
Okay, that's okay. It doesn't mind that.
Yeah.
It doesn't want you to not do your thing.
And
right?
And just let it know that it cannot cause, and just acknowledge it in this cycle and just ban it. Because it's a cloud. It's a cloud. I don't.
It's a cloud. So what would happen if a cloud went away and was happy?
Just clear the cloud.
Yeah.
Cleanse the cloud to clear it.
So what does the cloud want? What does the cloud want?
The cloud wants to keep me in stagnation.
Does it?
Yeah.
Have you actually asked the cloud what it wants? What do you want?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. I have not.
How do you know that the cloud is just stagnation? You've made a judgment on it. But what if that cloud has been wanting to protect you all along, and it only knows with the resources of a child? What if that's what its primary job is? So how can we help it? If its primary job is that, then what does the cloud really want? Doesn't it want to be free? Doesn't it want to expand and go and what does any child want?
To be free, to expand, learn different things.
Yeah. So let it know, you understand that that's what it wants. Right now, it doesn't know yet that it's doing what it's doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's a really important, at the same time, you don't want it to go away because you love it on some level. It's your cloud and it's your guide. It's your inner child. Yeah. So you don't want to throw it away.
Do I have to love the cloud?
Well, we all love clouds, but we can love the intention. We can love the intention of things, right?
Yeah.
Because we've just all you've done is create a circle.
Yeah.
Right? When we create a circle, what is it? It's just energy.
Yeah.
It's just energy. So can you imagine it is just energy? If it were just energy, tell me, make it just energy and see what happens.
Okay, make it just energy.
So if you think of just beautiful purple bubbles, maybe, think of that circle becoming just vibrating purple bubbles.
Okay, now I have a question. What kind of energy are you then? Purple bubbles.
Well, I don't know. Ask it. I mean, I don't know. But just think about it. If it were purple, then the energy doesn't have to stay in one place. It can just dissipate.
Somewhere, yeah.
Okay, so let it dissipate. Let it become. Think of yourself as pure energy. You're pure mind, you're pure
Mhm.
body and mind, you're pure mind. So make yourself pure energy.
Okay.
And then just allow yourself and that to emerge as energy and see what happens to that feeling.
Okay. Feeling like drifting away.
Feeling what?
Feeling like you're sailing away.
You feel like you're riding in a different direction.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how we transform feelings.
Yeah.
When we realize that all feelings are labels we've attached, but they're just sensations. That's all they are. If we can just unlabel them, name them, label them, and then delabel them as to just sensations, and then make them just energy, then they don't have, the next time we connect with it, it's totally different because the energy has already changed. Remember, we can never go back to the same moment twice, ever. So even if it's just changed a small bit in our neurology, if we do that a couple of times, our body will know, oh, okay, I'm getting the message. I'm getting the message. I can do this. And so it'll learn. All right, all I need to do is label, number one, what's going on. Two, this is just energy. This is just something I've created. This is a protective layer that I have. And when we start to do that, then you remember, like we were talking about taking account, we just take account.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where I am. This is what's happening. This is what I can change. This is what I can't change. Okay, this is what I'll do in the meanwhile. And that gives you a sense of coherence.
Okay.
And that's how.
Sounds good.
It's a very easy technique to do.
Yeah, sounds good. Really, it's more like manipulating your mind.
Yes, it doesn't have to be a big shift. It doesn't have to be a big thing to make a massive shift. We can just move things. I mean, a lot of kids say to me, I say, what do you do with that thought? And I go, I got a big fist. And they go, so they have their own strategies. And actually, a lot of people have strategies that they're not even aware of.
Yeah.
But if you allow yourself to take that reflective time, as you're saying, the rest, by just kind of going, this is just, frustration is just a layer. It's just a layer of where there's infinite potential just waiting. So within this circle, there's a saying that when we talk about the circle is like God, and we're inside. We're being protected, right?
Yeah.
But inside is the whole of everything. So it shouldn't be seen as a negative, right? So if we think about it as, wow, it's just a circle that's full of energy. Oh my goodness. All right, let's play with this. Then you're in another place. You're automatically creating with that part a new way of being to open your mindset. So as long as you've asked the question, what do I want? What do I want? How do I want that? Then what will happen is that your mind will start to work towards that.
Sounds good. Sounds really good, but I'm just checking a restream. It says it's streaming on LinkedIn, but it's actually not streaming.
I have no idea. Let me have a look from my
Are you streaming?
I'm not streaming anything, but I can have a look on LinkedIn myself. If I go into my LinkedIn account, should see it. It should come up because I'm linked to you. There we go. Nkosi Talk Shows. It's under Nkosi Talk Shows, isn't it? Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be here. Oh no, we are on. We're on. Nomsa, we are.
Are we?
We are. I can
Okay.
see you live on Restream. Me.
Okay.
We definitely. I'm just going to put this in your thing. Here we are. So we're definitely in LinkedIn. If you
Okay.
look in your chat, I put a thing in your chat.
Okay. I can't see it. Okay, that's fine. As long we're live, that's good. That's good. That's good. So we can continue, Shireen.
So yeah, you don't need to worry. We are here.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's it's very interesting.
Let me go into that. Yeah, that's. I mean, of course, in a normal session, we would go into much more depth. I'd ask deeper questions, and I would look at that. But that's one little technique that you can do very easily.
Can we just do it to just get on with it? Just go for it. Yeah. What do you think?
I think from a therapeutic experiences, it can be quite a long way for people to listen to. So
yeah, but it was fun anyway. I've enjoyed it myself.
Yeah, I mean, I think what would be really great is play with your kids.
Okay.
Ask your when you hear someone say, "Look, I'm walking into a brick wall," right? I'm getting into a brick wall. Then you just stop and you say, "Oh, tell me about the brick wall."
Okay.
Brick wall, and they'll go, "Oh," and you go, "Well, what color is it? Where do you see it? Is it over here? Is it over there?" And they'll kind of look at you and you kind of, and how big is it? Is it brown and with things? What kind of brick is it? You know, what color? And just go with that. And the more you interact with it, the more you can change it. You can transform it quicker, right? So by doing that and then asking, what does the brick wall want? Or what do you want? So you might say, well, I want to get around the brick wall. Ah, okay. So is there a path? If you're actually working indirectly with a problem, often you don't get resistance, right? Yeah. Sometimes people are so in their head that it's very hard for them to access their feelings. But sometimes you can work what we call adjacent to feelings. You can work adjacent to what is going on, sort of in parallel, and we can work alongside it, right? Yeah. And when you do that, because you've built up a relationship with the brick wall, right? And you're finding out more, you've created something that in the brain is already changing. So it doesn't have the same neural connections. So this is what's really powerful for people with trauma. Yeah. Or people with, particularly trauma, particularly for children. It's quite an amazing technology or a way of working that helps kids a lot because they live in that dream world, don't they? They believe in the dream world, and then they grow up and they get told that those dreams are not real, but they are. We walk dreaming all the time. I know people think we don't, but everything that we do, even writing has symbols. Yeah. And they have meaning, right? So that symbolic meaning is something that we are always relating to. So if you can find a way to connect with that feeling or a poem or something and just really connect, then you can do a lot of work just by playing and understanding that text. Yeah. Okay, sounds really good. I love it. It's a good strategy. It's a very gentle way of working with people sometimes, particularly someone who's struggling. Yeah, who's really struggling. Sometimes you have to do more CBT style stuff where you're just asking, you want the questions, you want the answers. But a lot of the time, people don't spend time, like we talked about, taking the rest, taking the time to let that world unfold for them. And that's what we're really talking about. This is about taking rest, being able to to move into that space where we can actually rest so that we can activate those default networks.
Reflect, take a rest and reflect.
Yeah, we can activate those networks. And then, of course, those networks work in what we call the symbolic world. They work in the world of thoughts, not thoughts, but actually images and sounds and smells, all the sensory systems. So we're activating that. Because when we're in our head, we don't pay attention to that. Yeah.
Yeah, and also it's very important for our physical reset as well, emotional reset, and like what you were saying, Shireen. And at the same time, without feeling guilty, if we have to actually take a break from things, just embrace that power. The power of reset is very, very important. And prioritizing self-care as well is very, very important, because without self-care, whatever you do in life is not going to be enough. So, but if you care about yourself that much, you work, and then you give yourself, or even you're going through storms, instead of thinking about those storms all the time, you look at life in a different way, maybe go and help somebody else. So, and seeking support as well for our audience are watching, and you're going through storms, please don't hesitate to seek support. It's very important to have someone supporting you.
Yes, I think it's really important. And I think sometimes we've grown up in a world where it's been frowned on, looked down on, right? That we taking time out with. And it's really interesting when I do a lot of work with people that want to stop smoking.
Yeah.
When they stop smoking, they get really stressed. Right?
Yeah.
Often they do this cold turkey. But what happens is nobody thinks badly of someone who goes out and smokes, right? They're allowed to go and have their weakness.
Yeah.
But somebody who doesn't smoke very often doesn't take time out.
Yeah, we do need to take some time out.
Interesting. So part of smoking can sometimes be a way of taking time out for self-care.
Yeah.
The act of smoking is taking a breath. Right? It's simply taking a breath. That's where the mistake was made. But the thing is, for people that are at work, you have just as much entitlement to have a smoke break without a smoke, right?
Yeah.
Just as much entitlement. Go and say, this is my smoke break. Even if I'm not a smoker, I'm having a smoke break. I need a smoke break. So that's really important. And I think what I wrote a little article today on LinkedIn, which was really about something which was about the idea that we're told that we will, we need to work hard to get success. So success is always outside us, always outside us. So we never feel good enough until we've achieved something. And then, of course, because we're so busy trying to go for achievement, what happens? We don't appreciate that moment. We move on.
We want to move on. We want to do more another task.
Yeah. So there's this doing all the time. And that is something that means that we will feel incredibly guilty if we stop. And that's where we really criticize ourselves. So if the viewers are thinking about, I just want to stop and have this cup of tea, I just need this or this, and they're starting to feel guilty, or they can't ask for their needs to be met. They can't say, well, I've been here all day, I need a break, right?
Yeah.
If they can't have that and they're unable to do that, then this is very much something that we need to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Because you cannot be the battery that burns out.
No.
Right? Every day we start a new day with a full battery. And during the day, we're depleting. We must keep repleting so that we have a full battery by the end of the day. Otherwise, we are just building at night, and over a time, the deficit gets less and less and less. So self-care is, when we talk about self-care, we're talking about taking care of the self, right? Just taking care of the self. If we just take care of the self in a way that allows you to do more, allows you to have more energy, then you will be doing everybody a service. Why is that? Why are you doing everybody a service if you have better self-care?
Because you are actually nurturing people at the same time and nurturing yourself, and you are in that present moment as well.
Yeah.
So it does help.
So if you have no energy, right, you're absolutely right. You will nurture. You will do that. What's happening is when you build up your energy, then you've got lots of energy to spare for others, right? If you don't have energy, you're sitting in survival.
Yeah.
You've got no energy to spare. And if you do feel guilty and you do give it up, you then really start to deplete. So having energy to spare, building your energy means you can give more, not less. And it helps you build those areas of your brain that actually help you go into what we call higher order thinking. So where you can become more creative, where you can do more with more efficiency, right? Because now you've got the energy to choose differently. But when you don't have energy, you can't. So hard. We make better decisions when we have energy. Do you know that most, and I don't know whether anyone else knows, but if you're going to have a judgment done just before lunch or just before home time, you are going to get a harsher sentence than someone at the beginning of the day or just after lunch. And there's enough evidence to show where you are on the court docket is going to determine your sentence in the magistrate's court. And the reason is, by lunchtime, the judge is tired, right? He's hungry, or she's hungry. She wants to get up. She's kind of like,
So when eat food.
Right. So what do? They're going into what we call a heuristic, a shortcut.
Yeah.
So they're going to make a decision and they're not going to pay attention because they've literally got no bandwidth, right? No bandwidth. Please don't disturb me with your case, please. Right?
Yeah.
I'm ready to go. So this is really important. So if we can manage to keep that energy going between dockets, between whatever, we can give 100% of our time to whoever is there. We can have infinite patience. You know, a mum that has infinite patience with her child is going to have a child that's going to be really powerful in the world.
Yeah, because if you're in the present moment, it gives you the opportunity for growth and the self-discovery as well.
Yeah.
And then you can just emerge stronger and more resilience. And it depends with the struggle that you go through in life. Some people see struggle as the end of everything. But for me, when it comes to struggle, I have to look at my life and say, okay, there is a reason why I'm going through this. And instead of me feeling like, wow, it's a struggle, wow, this is what I'm going through, I go to a gratitude mood. Then I start being grateful and look at things, how wonderful God has been in my life. And the moment I shift my mindset, I'm not ignoring this struggle, but this is where that little storm, it wouldn't actually take away the joy and the glory that I have had in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's important for anyone that is watching that when you're going through storm, seek support, but seek support to the right people. We want everybody else to be there for us, but you have to pick and choose, because sometimes you might choose people that will make things worse for yourself. So very, very important to actually be in the present moment and just look around your environment and just choose the right people. I always say to myself, I rather have 2 friends than having 10, 8 are fake and 2 are real. So I rather keep my life very, very simple. I don't have many friends. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I have 5 really friends that I have known for 30 years. I've known them for a very, very long time since we were in Africa, but now they are no longer friends. When I see them, they're like part of the family. So it's very, very important when you're going through storm.
Yeah.
And also, I have a thing when I look at life.
Yeah.
I look at life where, okay, I have coaches that I pay. They listen to me, they help me with support and stuff. But when it comes to really, really challenges, if I really, really want to get out of the situation, for me is God. I don't know anybody else, whatever their beliefs are. For me, I keep it real. For me is God. I always say when storm comes my way, to me it's gonna be God. And if I believe in that way and trust, like you said before, trust the process of everything. I believe and I trust that I'm gonna get out of this process and I'm gonna get through it. I don't panic. And which it destroyed my marriage, my first marriage relationship. It was destroyed because my ex said, Nomsa, you don't care about life. And I was like, I do care about life. But sometimes in life, because I listened to my grandmother a lot, my grandmother was a very happy woman. And I asked her, why are you always happy? And she was like, sometimes in life, there are things that you can solve. There are some things that you can't solve. And she used to talk about, she divorced with my granddad, my dad's dad. So she raised us, my dad, my mom and dad going to work. So she was part of that life. So I asked her, why do you always say wonderful things about my granddad? So he was married, my granddad remarried. So she was like, he was an amazing guy. So this is what I want to remember, the guy. And he would tell me this story. So I was like, wow, it's nice sometimes to be nice. He would say, you have to be kind. You can't look at life and see the storm. You have to see beauty in life. So now I look at myself, I look at my siblings, and now I realize what she saw. It was a beautiful family that she has accomplished through my granddad. And that's how I see life. I just see life like now my website is not working. And the storm is there. I'm like, things are beautiful. I can't complain. Somebody else is in hospital being told that their life is this, their life is this. Me, I complain about the website. I want to say, God, I don't have a right. Honestly, I always say I don't have a right to complain. The only thing I just do is just find the breakthrough and seek support and just get people to help. And that's all you can do in life when it comes to dealing with storms. I don't know if...
I mean, I love what you said there. And I mean, we're kind of gone back into do the pun, the circle.
Yeah.
We are going back to the surrender and going back to what we can do, what we can't do, and who and what do we surrender it to, right? Who or what do we trust in that?
So Bukari, do you remember Bukari? It says, hello. Is watching on YouTube. Hi, Bukari, how are you? I don't see your live anymore. I used to see him live. I enjoy his live when he's doing live. Send me the link when you're doing your lives on my messenger so I can watch. There are some people that I enjoy watching them, and Simone as well. I love watching him when he does his live, but I don't see his live anymore.
Maybe there are things going on right now.
Yeah, I don't see your live anymore. Are you still doing lives?
I do lives occasionally. I need to, well, that is something I'm planning on doing more. So
okay,
that will be more so. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I will be doing more lives.
Yeah.
So one of the things, thank you. one of the things that I think's really powerful, something that you said, and maybe just bring it back. One is that you said, I'd rather have 2 friends rather than 10 friends. And I think something about choosing your friends wisely, right? Choosing your friends wisely. And I think what really resonates for me is choose friends that amplify you. Yeah. So choose friends that champion you. Yes. That will say, yes, okay, that wasn't great, but I can see you. I can see your dream. I can see your vision, right? Yeah. Yes. I don't know how to give advice, but I can see you, right? So even if it doesn't matter whether they can actually help you on that way, but what you need is that emotional safety, or that sense of knowing you are truly seen and truly held by people that love you and take care of you. So you have that sense of deep core of belonging. And so I think it's so important that you check out who are your really good friends, and do they amplify you? If they amplify you, they are seeing you, and they will be good for you all the time, right? So that's a really important thing. Cultivate your friends, because that's going to be the real key for any future kind of success. And so for the riding the storm, as we said, we go back to the circle. Part of it is, I love that you say that, everyone has a belief, and your one is, this is here for a good reason. Yeah. And so therefore, let me find the reason. Yeah. Right? So that's the job, isn't it? That's the job. Okay, what's the reason? So we don't know what to do, or we're in the storm because either we don't have enough skills, either we don't, so we might have to recruit skills, or we may have to go and learn them, or we just really can't do this part physically as a being, right? Or there are other constraints that may be in the way, that literally, if I say, oh, I want to go and be the president, well, I know that that's probably not going to be likely, given I've not done a career in in any form of ministry. Yeah. So that's probably unlikely. So I haven't built up that kind of credit and that kudos. But there may be that I could go and be I could run or do a marathon, or I could do. So there are things that may be within my control that is realistic that I can do. And that means there's a big thing. So really look at the scope of, do I just want it because I feel like I'm this child that feels that I must have it? Or is this really not my purpose? Is this really not mine to have? Maybe mine is slightly different. So if I'm not getting it, have a look at the reason. The reason is really always very clear. It's just we've got to be willing to stop, and find the question. What is really going on here? What am I resisting? What don't I want to hear? And I think if you then it makes the next bit of the journey so much easier. Yeah. Because now you can start setting a course of action that's going to lead you to more success. Yeah.
I love that. I love that, having a strategy for breakthrough. I love that. I think it's very, 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 very important. And also just seek and take advantage of the resources that are available, and have compassion for yourself, and also recognize the situation you lay in that foundation. And while you're dealing with the diversity of life, using opportunities of growth to reset, obviously, and also embracing this empowering reset is very, very crucial to actually utilizing everything. Is very, very important, and shifting your mindset as well. is very important, because if our mindset gets stuck in one place, then we're not able to move forward. But if you actually switch your mind and to see opportunities, the possibilities of life, what life could be, if you were to actually move forward with your life and things like that. And I think, and also assess, evaluate your career as well, how things, if things are going the right way, like career-wise, health-wise, your personal being. I think you touched on personal well-being as well, Shireen, and your informed decisions as well. Make informed decisions.
Yeah, so important.
Prioritizing, yeah, very, very important.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, to come back to your, it kind of reminded me a little bit of what you're actually studying at the minute, which is that perspective taking, you know, the idea of maybe learning a habit, in your case, like what you do, go into gratitude.
Yeah.
Going into gratitude, having a look at what I can be grateful for, even if it's only 3 things. If you can get 10, even better.
Yeah.
And if you can, you know, this is not about blaming. This is not about any of that. It's just kind of saying, okay, this is where I am. This is what I have. I'm happy that I can breathe.
Yeah.
I'm happy that I can do this. I can do that. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
And just let that feeling build. Because the more we connect into that space, we are moving into the place where where our mind is more able to feel good.
Yeah.
Right. And when we feel good, we are more likely to, you were talking about switching, right?
Yeah.
We are more able to switch into new ways of thinking. And you were talking about perspective taking. Then we're from that place, we can look at it and go, actually, this is not such a big deal.
Yeah.
I'll get through this, right? Look what I've accomplished here. Look what I have to be grateful for here. It's not comparing yourself that I've got nothing, you know, I've no right. No, you've got every right to be and to feel. But what you really want is just to focus on what you have. Because when we know what we have, we feel safe, right?
Yeah.
And safety takes us away from the survival place.
Yeah.
And it brings us into thrive.
Yeah.
Right? It moves us away from one to the other, moves us towards, right?
Yeah.
And when we go grateful, we're actually activating the higher order or the newer development of the parasympathetic nervous system. And that system is all about engaging, moving forward, having a growth mindset, looking, being excited, being creative, right? So this is what gratitude does. It takes us into this lovely space. So if you can just recognize when you're in that state, whatever the state is, that you go, no, 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 just have a statement. No, 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 I'm going into gratitude. No, 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 I'm going into gratitude. Learn it, learn it, learn it. Because if you do that, it's going to change. I reckon that's one of the biggest things that will change your life.
Yeah.
Because automatically you're building the strength in you. You're building that resilience that then allows you to take that breath and look back, look at the perspective and see it. What you'll see is that the problem is tiny in comparison to who you are.
Yeah.
It's tiny. And you can then also sometimes see all the ways out of it.
And also problems are there for us to learn from them. So
yes,
we can't see them as, oh, you know what, I'm going through this. You just have to, if the problems keep
seeing that
the
problem is you. Very often we because we tend to, you know, we have such a very strong protective survival instinct not to see wrong in ourselves, right?
Yeah.
It's not healthy to see see us as bad.
Yeah.
So we do everything we can to see outside as bad before
Yeah.
we look inside, right? And
Yeah.
some people never get to look inside, right? Or are too scared to look inside because they are frightened they'll see what they'll see, right?
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, the truth is, when you get to look inside, you get to know who you really are. And that's when the extraordinary starts to happen and life changes. And I think that that's the gift that we get when we take that plunge of just resting, going into that space, reflecting.
Yeah, you
having
just
gratitude.
Yeah, gratitude is very, very important. I practice gratitude a lot, and also when I pray, I don't just pray. I pray with the intentions that I just want God. I don't say, God, this is how I want you to solve my situation. I want him to solve my situation based on what I meant to go. So that's where I say, this is my situation, and this is what I am willing to do. I'm willing to do whatever it takes, but show me the way, how I need to move forward. Like I pray. Like yesterday I was praying. Actually, I found one of my pastor is actually bonkers online, because my pastor, my GO has got so many churches around the globe. So what I do, so I was searching on YouTube, I found this pastor is so amazing and so powerful. So I listened to him. So yesterday I just prayed and took his ideas. I always basically want to do things different. So today we went to a student social online, and this girl just gave me the idea just like that, how I can make my matchmaking different. She was like, why don't you use these tools? Do you use those tools? I was like, oh, no. She was like, yeah. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to look into it. And it's just that solution, like that's why they say you have to be in the present moment. And when you are in the present moment, the conversation as well, just focus on the conversation. And sometimes there are some people, when they talk about what they do, they don't want to really talk about it. They feel like they are blabbing. So you never know when you tell somebody what you do and they ask you questions. You have to carry on asking questions, because some people, they might ask questions, they want to judge you. But some people, they might ask questions and then they're like, oh, have you ever tried this? Because what you do is really, really amazing. Try this. I think it will do well with your company. So that's what that girl actually gave me some advice. Like we were talking and then she just said, are you using these tools? I was like, okay, science. This is what I should be doing. So I might be doing that. So it's very, very important to actually not to look at the storm as a storm, just look at it as it's life, is part of life. And when you look at life that way, my family get confused with me, because you can't tell me that I can't do something. If I know that I can't do it, I know there's someone who can. And I'm not actually afraid. Like when I ask you, I had asked the other people and they were telling me things that I couldn't understand. And I was like, somebody somehow is going to have ideas of explanation. So like today when I was asking you, and this girl that was asking me about the business, she was like, are you struggling with Gorilla? I was like, yeah. And she was like, they take time, but once they are connected to you, they help you throughout. So she said they help her throughout last year. But then one of the students said they take time to actually maybe 2 weeks to connect with you. But once you're connected, you're connected.
Yeah, that's the best thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes it's nice to have that network of people that can help you. Not feeling sorry club. I used to have a feeling sorry club where you go for coffee. You know, when you have children, younger children, you go for coffee with the kids, you pushing push chairs, and you sit down, and then somebody's gonna come up with their story, and then it's feeling sorry, ended up feeling sorry for each other. Poor you. That feeling sorry club, I had to get out of it. So yeah.
Yeah, I think, you know, at the end of the day, they're the ones that can, you know, they'll give you the stuff that's on how to work Gorilla. How does that work, and help you set that up properly. What you put into it, of course, is going to be your stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that's your part of the deal. But I think getting to understand how it works is really important, and that gives you a sense of confidence and an ability. Yeah.
I think we come to an end. It's 10 past now. Shireen, any words of encouragements?
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, I think what's important is really just paying attention. I mean, the idea of riding the storm is really kind of understanding that every one of us has a rock that we can hold on to, right? Everyone has it. We have to find it so that whatever happens, we can know that we can get through. You know, maybe we just need a bit of cleaning. Maybe our rock is getting a little cruddy. Maybe those are the things that need to come off so that our beautiful rock can shine. And I think what's really important is to recognize that you have this, right? Each and every one has it, and we can build it. We can make it stronger by simply doing little techniques like understanding that gratitude, just simply moving to gratitude, makes us feel stronger, makes us feel more resilient. And also that when we take care of ourselves, when we take care of ourselves like we want to take care of others, if we give what we give to others the same care to ourselves, then we're probably nearly there. We maybe don't give to others as much as we probably could, but that means we're not giving enough to ourselves. So we need to give as equal amount of care to others as we give to ourselves. So I would suggest that people write down a list of what they do in self-care. What do they give to others? How do they manage? And see if the balance, the dynamic balance, is there. So think about everything in this flux. Everything has got to be in balance. So do I need to have more energy? Ooh, just feel it. Yes, I do. What can I do to get more energy other than go and get a snack bar, right? What I can do is quietly just take a nice deep breath. Breathe in. Think about 3 things I'm grateful for. And it doesn't matter how big or small it is, as long as you really appreciate it. Let yourself get the feeling. So when you say, I'm grateful for the air that I breathe, think about this is your last breath and how grateful I am, right?
Yeah.
Let yourself feel it, because when you feel it, this is what Joe Dispenza said, you elevate the emotion, you anchor it, you wire it, you change you. So, yeah. So I'm Shireen Lovegrove, and I help professional women who are pregnant, who are struggling with issues around pregnancy. Maybe they've had a first traumatic birth, or they are having conflicts at work, managing work and home dynamics. So what I do is I help them to take a breath, reset their priorities so they can happily relax into their pregnancy, knowing that they can deal with all problems that come to hand. And you can find me on all websites, or my website, ShireenLovegrove.com, and other social media under my name. So you will find me there. And yeah, take care. And Nomsa, thank you very much for such a lovely conversation.
Thank you so much, Shireen. For me, I would say set clear boundaries to protect your time and energy. Allow yourself the space that is needed for rest and recovery, and know that you are unique. And listen to your body. Pay attention to the signal of your body that's being sent to you. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, just reset is important. You don't have to be accomplishing all the time. You just have to reset. Like myself, when I'm filming tomorrow, I'm not coming at Nkosi Talk Shows. I'm gonna have a break. I think I might have a 2 hours break or 3 hours break. I'm just gonna relax. So I'm gonna use that time to relax. Somebody else is gonna be broadcasting Nkosi Talk Shows, not me. So I have time to reset. It's very, very important, guys. And we are here at Nkosi Talk Shows, 1 p.m. UK time, through our social media. My website at the moment is not working, but I think you can still find me on Google Map. I think all my contacts are there if you are looking for a matchmaking introduction agency. So you'll find me there, or you can connect me with on social media. If you want to connect with the other coaches, then I'll connect you with them, or you can contact them direct. You can contact Shireen direct. Actually, Shireen, she showed me that. That's why they say never charge. I was like, this woman, she's so smart. She showed me a different side part of her. So that's why it's very important to never judge anyone by how you see them. Live with grace, everyone, and God bless. Hopefully, if you want to ride the storm, you can contact Shireen and contact me. Then we can work with you. God bless. Live with grace.